making pretty good bucks.
Right.
And this is a kid who grew up in poverty. So he knows what it's like to be in that situation. But at the same time, I'm not really sure how much money he's got just yet because that was his first game check. I'm sure he got a nice little bonus, and I'm sure he's got some endorsement deals already lined up, so he's got some money in his pocket. But, what a great gesture that was.
It's very cool. By the way, this is going to be a fun game next week, by the way. Giants 0-4 versus the Los Angeles Chargers 0-4 at MetLife Stadium. Boy.
All right, so that's a W. That's a W. You got to put that in the W column.
That should be, which should be. Then again, yesterday should have been a W. So, but the Chargers, by the way,
should have been actually 2 weeks ago. Should have been more of a W.
And
last week, I should say.
We should quickly say that Los Angeles, so far for the NFL, they desperately want to be back in LA for the last 20 years plus years.
Right.
LA has not embraced football, NFL football, the way you thought they would. If they were so desperate for it. And, the Chargers, the fact that they're there as the second team because they figured, well, we'll tie ourselves in with the Rams in their stadium. So, who knows? There is talk. I don't know how serious it is, but an entire level talk that the Chargers might move back to San Diego. So I don't know if
I was them, I would.
I would too. Now the question is,
they didn't even sell out their first game at the Home Depot Center.
Right, 27,000 people. So
place holds 30.
30. Okay,
it's a soccer stadium.
I know,
and they didn't even sell it out.
So I'm wondering if they can get if that's possible. They do have a deal with the Rams for that stadium, but they're going to be the second partner. So there's a lot of things going on. San Diego is a great market. They love the Chargers. They just didn't want to build them spend $1 billion on a stadium. So
well, there's something to be said for that. But
I agree.
I think if they can get it worked out, then there's certainly something that can be done because it would seem from the early indications anyway that the Chargers made a mistake.
Well, yeah, if you can get out of it quick, please do it. That's what I would do. Brother, we're going to take a break. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, also streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Okay. Yo.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
We found something out
Yeah.
I'm shocked about. Brandon, you get pedicure?
Yes, of course. My feet are always getting wet and dried up in socks and stuff like that.
First of all, I just want to put this in perspective. I cut my toenails once a year.
I've been wanting to get a manicure, but I will feel weird to just go by myself. So maybe we can try it out. We
you guys go together. That's a no.
Not a shot.
Really? You wouldn't go?
No,
Mike, I'll take you up on that.
There you go.
There we
Two
go.
guys, no more than that.
No more than that.
No.
Okay.
If I were to do that, I'd want it to be a big group of guys. Yeah, why not?
Let's like all march in there. Just
Yeah,
like
let's
we're
all
here
march
for the
in there and be
pedicure.
like, 3, 5, 4, pum. I'm here to get my nails done.
Yeah, testosterone.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
Yo, what happened to your hair?
You have to experience what I just experienced.
What'd you do? Stick your finger in an electric outlet or something?
Close. I just listened to Electric Air.
Electric air.
Electric air.
Can everyone stop repeating electric air and tell me what electric air is?
Electric air will get your heart racing, neurons sparking, and lips smiling. Join me, Tova, as I shock your ears with EDM's greatest hits. 5 out of 5 doctors agree 1 hour of electric air every week is just what you need to increase your energy and leave you feeling stimulated. Side effects may include uncontrollable mood swings, shuffling, and in some extreme cases, headbanging.
Too much headbanging, huh?
Dude, those side effects are serious. Seriously amazing.
So join me every Wednesday night at 8 for Electric Air on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Shake off the realities of the day, broaden your musical horizons, and embrace the diversity every Monday afternoon at 5 on Revelations on 90.3 WHPC. The show offers a potently unique collection of music with an emphasis on themes and rock rarities, an occasional tour de force of blues and soul, mixed with compelling sets of folk and folk rock. I'm Steve K, and I've got the perfect soundtrack for your drive home every Monday afternoon at 5 on Revelations, right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome back to From the Press Box. I am your co-host, Rob Leonard. Joining me on the phone today is my other co-host, well, my co-host, I should say, Tim Leonard, award-winning sports writer. And
that's me.
And my brother, he's on the phone. Usually it's because he's sick. Today he's not sick. He's got to go to court. You know, he's doing the right thing.
Let's come on. I'm going to jury duty. Let's not make it sound like I'm selling over here.
Well, I know. I sort of stopped. That's how things can get, information can get passed wrong. You know, how you tell a story is very important.
Exactly. I was about to start screaming fake news.
Yeah. So anyway, Tim's doing jury duty today. So as soon as he gets out of here, unfortunately, the only reason he can do it is because some woman had to call in late. So that's very cool. Anyway, we talked about the Jets and the Giants. Quickly, be careful out there. O.J. Simpson is out of jail. He was released from a Las Vegas prison on Saturday, actually technically midnight Sunday morning. They didn't want the press there or whatever. O.J. is already hoping to make a killing, so to speak, in doing an interview. He wants a lot of money to do the interview. Whether what he talks about, who knows. It's funny because, he was one of the great running backs of all time. Of course, he turned into something else.
Yeah. I've been waiting 9 years to say this, brother.
What?
The juice is loose.
The juice. I was going to write him a letter. Remember when we were kids, Dad got us OJ's autograph in the airport?
Yes.
He was up in Buffalo. Well, we lost it. We had it. It was on the back of a airline ticket, and
well, we didn't lose it.
Well, we know. Well, we'll say we lost it. We know what happened to it.
We had a very
don't
clean
say
grandmother.
Well, actually, I don't think it was grandma. I think it might have been another member of the family. But anyway,
really?
Yeah. Well, it's a whole other story.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me because I've been living my whole life thinking grandma threw it out.
No, well, she might have. I don't know, but it was one of the two. Either way. I was going to write him a letter saying to him, well, dear OJ, my dad got your autograph and, we lost it. Can we have another one? And since he's in jail, he can't charge you. So now he can charge you.
Well, you had 9 years to do it. What were you waiting for?
I don't know. It's like, I want to interview Phil Spector. He's one of the jails in California, but I actually called the jail. And I said, well, how can I interview Phil Spector? And they said, well, you can't. I go, okay.
Why not?
I don't know. They interviewed Manson. Tom Snyder interviewed Manson once. So
right.
I don't know how it all works, brother.
Well, find out.
I did. They told me no at the time. Maybe again. Anyway, let's talk. We talked OJ. We talked Giants. We talked Jets. I don't know what's more important, the Mets or the Yankees, brother, because Terry Collins is.
That's funny.
Is out.
That's funny. What's more important? The team is going to the playoffs in the postseason, or the season is over.
Well, the Mets are a better story because
no, they're not.
Because Terry Collins he technically resigned, but then he was given supposedly another job in the Mets front office. What he will do, we do not know. We have no idea who the candidates to replace him are. I don't expect anything to happen until after the World Series.
It's going to take more than a month for the Mets to have a new manager.
Yeah,
There's no rush.
But do you think that they would have had, if they've been waiting for this resignation, so to speak, you think that they might have an idea who to go with?
Not really.
And what,
there's another team. I forget. Oh, what team was it? I read this yesterday. There's another team out there looking for a manager. And I read that they had 50 candidates, It might have been the Phillies, but there's another team out there. They said they already had 50 candidates for the manager's job, which is absurd.
True.
I mean, I was about to send a resume.
Well, you might
make
get
it. Make it 51. I'm ready. I'm ready to be a big league manager.
Why not? I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. I mean, I thought Terry Collins did a pretty good job. I mean, not many Met managers have gone back to back to get to the playoffs. First of all, second of all, he got to the World Series in 2015 when no one thought that was going to happen. This season was injuries. So, to blame him totally for this season is horrible. This season, with Terry Collins leaving, it reminds me of when Bobby Valentine was pushed out. And what did he say? He goes, you're going to push me out, but not Steve Phillips? It's like, why isn't Sandy Alderson on the same train out of town, so to speak, with Terry Collins?
Well, part of the reason, there are legitimate reasons for Terry Collins leaving. And we can't say he was fired because apparently he did step down. But obviously he was pushed out the door. But there are legitimate complaints about Terry, and one of them is that he does not like playing young players. And what were the Mets for the final month plus of the season? It was all young players.
That's true.
It was Dominic Smith and Ahmed Rosario and guys like that, the future of the Mets. And Terry Collins, for whatever reason, does not like younger players. And there are other managers who share that, I don't know, disdain is probably a too strong of a word, but they have more trust in veteran players. So Terry Collins was more comfortable when Curtis Granderson was around and Jay Bruce was around and Lucas Duda was around, because those guys have a track record. And in theory, they know what to do when stuff happens in a game. Whereas younger guys, there's still something of a learning curve. I mean, baseball is baseball. It shouldn't really be such a big deal as far as what to do. None of that changes no matter what level. If you're playing high school ball or minor league ball, it's still, hit the cutoff man and throw to the right base on defense and just make sure if you're going to third on a ground ball from second base, make sure that that the ball's hit to the right side of the infield, not the left. I mean, there's a lot of basics in baseball that don't change, but somehow players manage to screw it up. But between that and his use of the bullpen, which also has been criticized because some believe it has led to injuries. He overworked Juris Familia, and some people think that had something to do with Familia being hurt for most of the season. There was the same complaint with Addison Reed. If a reliever was successful for Terry Collins, chances are Terry was going to use him a lot. Jerry Blevins, the same thing. And relief pitchers, when they get used a lot like that, they break down. That's just how it is. And the guys can't pitch so many days in a row.
Well, my thing about the Mets, and it's what Ron Darling brought up later in the season. Actually, the trainer guy, whose name I can't remember right now, who was training these guys to do heavy lifting weights when maybe they should have been doing other things. Is he going to be around next year? Supposedly he is.
Unless he is, yeah.
Unless he changes his ways, which if his ways are lifting heavy weights, which can lead to strains and rips, call, like I said, call Tom Seaver, and just look at the way he pitched and say, hey, Tom, what did you do? Because he did have a workout regimen. He was one of the first pitchers from that time to have sort of a workout regimen, he's just one of the great pitchers of all time. So
yes, yeah, the guy who you're talking about is a guy by the name of Mike Barwis.
Thank you.
Who is the strength and conditioning coach. And as far as I know, he's going to be back.
Okay.
Somebody actually made a kind of a joking reference to him the other day. But and Barwis, he's a guy who he has a football background, like we've said before. He worked at West Virginia and University of Michigan and worked with their football teams. I really have no idea why the Mets would hire a football guy, But he's known for his high intensity muscle building workouts, and that's not baseball shape. That's football shape.
Yep. So we'll see what happens.
I don't get it why he's still around and why he's going to be around when I think it's fairly obvious that his training methods have led to pitching injuries for the Mets.
Well, I got to ask you one more question, brother.
Yeah,
during the week last week, there was a lot of, and as you're a sports writer, that's